How's it going, everybody? So, I just really get frustrated when I'm online and I'm looking at, and this is, come up now a couple different times. I'm looking at these social media campaigns when, Facebook has people change their profile image to have some sort of, transparency of colors to raise awareness of a certain cause or to show solidarity with a certain cause. And of course, the most recent event where Facebook has done this has been specifically with the Paris attacks with over 100 people, 150 people shot dead. And so people have up this blue, white, and red flag of France as a means to show that, we're standing strong. And it's absurd on many different levels, beyond the scientific aspect that people have a limit to how much they can actually show empathy for. If you've put up a picture and you're showing solidarity, and you're just going about your day, you're having fun, you're smiling, you're gonna go to work, you're gonna go out with friends, it's the weekend, you're doing whatever it is that you're gonna do anyway. There's no solidarity there, there's no empathy. You don't give a rat's butt about what's going on. You're still living your life. If your close family member died, you'd rent your clothes, rip and cry, bawl. Your whole world would stop as everything else is going on. That's a real empathetic emotional response. That's connectivity. People just changing the pixels on their image is not any sort of empathetic connectivity. And even then, the people who were killed, again, there's good reason for them to, be shown that type of sympathy maybe. But to say that that is some true or genuine connectedness, to show that, oh yeah, I changed the picture that I have and now it's got these colors on it, to say that somehow connects you to those people is absolutely absurd. These are people that you probably never heard of before the event. These are people you will probably not even think of within the next 24 hours, except for maybe some of the feature stories that come out in the countries where those who died may have come from somewhere more local. In the U.S., there was a girl who was I think the first American reporter who was killed from it. Again, even then, there's no real connection. Nobody feels anything. Nobody's life has changed by this. You're still going through your same old, same old. And the intellectual side, not the emotional side, the intellectual side is, okay, well, at what point do you say to yourself, how did this even happen? How did this begin? How did this start? Where did these people come from? Why are they doing this? Those really important, pithy questions that need to be investigated that lead to say, how does this stop? This is pain and suffering. How do we stop this? I don't want this to happen to me. You may not feel what they feel, but be like, oh, I don't want, to have another terrorist attack happen here. How did these things happen? How many people are actually going through the history and researching what happens when governments start to blow up, destroy, and destabilize regions? You look back at Charlie Wilson's war leading to today, dealing with Al-Qaeda and the rebels, and now what's going on with ISIS and the U.S. government, funding the rebels on both sides and accidentally dropping weapons that ISIS pick you up and then going and killing hordes of children. These are things you can see if you want on LiveLeak, the videos of mass murders there. How many people actually are connecting to those things and actually understand how it got to be that way? How many people actually took the time to look at the history and to look at the whys? How many people are actually taking the time to say, what is it that needs to stop or happen in order for this to really end? And by this, I mean these types of mass killings or mass murders. Nobody is actually tomorrow saying, you know what, I'm going to do some serious historical research. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to need to do to get this change. Or, you know what, I need to look into my ethics and philosophy and about myself and see, is there anything that's, growing ideologically around the world that's causing these kinds of actions? Or, I wonder where my tax dollars are going. Or, I wonder what the ethics and morality of taxation is to begin with. Or, we're in a lot of debt over here, and it seems like there's millions and millions of dollars just being blown up overseas. What's up with that? Or maybe, hey, you know what? There's this country here that just got attacked, France, but have they done anything over in the Middle East? Have they drone bombed any of those countries where these refugees are now fleeing from? That could be a good question to investigate. But you know what? Nobody is really doing that. They're just changing the color of their picture because Facebook told them to. And within 2 to 3 days, they'll forget this ever happened. And they'll be on to whatever it is, that's on with life, if not sooner. So to me, I just get really irked because there is this type of haughtiness and pride that people get when it comes to emotional empathy, like, oh, you're such a dick, or oh, how could you not be like, it's important to, show solidarity and care. Oh, you know what I mean? Doesn't make them feel good to know the world is, sympathizing or empathizing with them. And it's just like, no, you're full of crap. You don't know anything about those people. You're not helping them out. You're not doing anything, and you're not changing anything. You're not sitting there and saying, we're gonna stop these people who are destroying, this entire Middle Eastern region, whether that's from the governments that are destabilizing the region, or maybe the individual actors who are radicals who are using this opportunity to go and continue to propagate their idea of a violent overthrow of the area, an institution of a new type of ideology into regions that don't have it currently, a type of radical Islam if we're talking about ISIS. Or radical statism, if you want to get down to the core of it. People who are worshiping the concepts of government and that this is right and just. And on that note, what do those colors mean? Where did the flag come from? Why blue, white, and red? What happened with Bastille Day? What happened with the French Revolution? Was that bloody? Was that a symbol of violence at the time and persecution? Huh. Or no, is that really the people? People will be like, oh, that's really just representing the people, really. So the people in that region got together one day and decided, this will be our colors that we're going to use for this region that we're just going to all have 100% consensus on. Was it that, or were they just born into it because monarchs of the past, eventually leading to a revolution, kind of decided that those are the colors that we're going to go with, depending on what type of government was in place? What's really happening? And that's the thing, is everybody has all this cognitive dissonance about the situation. Fake emotions, fake empathy, fake, oh, that's really sad, that sucks. Oh, you know what? The Kardashians are on. Oh, you know what? My favorite car show's on. Oh, you know what? Let's watch Breaking Bad again, or what's on Netflix. Please, don't, or we're getting Chipotle or something. Please, don't even pretend like as if you have the ability to care. Sorry. Science has already shown that people have a limited ability, a very narrow set of the amount of people they can care about realistically and actually have a true empathetic emotional grasp with, have a true understanding of the nature of that person and emphasize, on the details. So, it's a bunch of garbage. It's one thing to say, okay, intellectually, hey, you know what? Yeah, that's really horrible that happened to those people. That sucks. But it's another thing to say, you know what? I'm actually going to figure out why this is happening and what needs to change. Because people are constantly being caught up in these winds of emotion. They get on an emotional pedestal and put down other people who are like, hey, whoa, 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 chill with the emotions. Let's look at the causes. What's going on here? Don't you think that there's reasons behind why these attacks are happening? Like, look at the sources, and also look at the nature of the people who are using this to consolidate their power, the governments that be. Or on the other side, even if they see this as a successful attack, the powers that be there, what are they doing with this opportunity? What are they doing to get people to rally behind and support the current ruling class that is collectivized in government? So, some people will say I'm cold-hearted about that. I really don't care, because I'm just honest about the situation. I think it's garbage. I think the changing of colors as a social media viral thing is garbage, and I think that if people want to really make a change, they need to start with themselves. They need to ask themselves, do I actually even know why this is the way it is? And do I even know what it is that's happening with my resources and ways that maybe that might be affecting the things that are going over there? What's happening with the money that's being taken from you by your government, whether it's America, France, wherever else? What's happening that's leading to things over there? Because that's really what you need to be looking at. And then, of course, if you take time to go even deeper, how about your personal ethics? Are your ethics ones that are going to support violence, the kind of violence that's going on, or is it the kind of ethics that support peace? That's an investigation that really people should be asking themselves. Am I a supporter of peace in how I act and treat people and what I think is right or wrong? Or are maybe my ethics and morals actually propagating the system of violence about which I'm now trying to complain about and empathize with those who have been affected by these systems of violence? It's a good question, but one worth investigating. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later.